Right. Hi. That works. That was complicated. More complicated than it should have been. Is my voice alright? Is it sound okay? Is the music in the background too soft or too loud? Hope it's all good. I'm good, thank you. I'm sort of like a bit bored today. I've got loads of videos planned and ready. Well, not ready. Just planned for 3.6 PTU going to wider PTU. And I was like, could start on a whole nother topic or subject, but that's like a lot of the stuff I want to do is video series that when I start, there'll be quite a few coming out. I've got lots and lots and lots of different plans of content. Alfred, thank you very much for almost a year subscription. Very much appreciated. But I'm bored voice level 1000. Let's turn my voice down very slightly. Turn the music up very slightly. There you go. Maybe that's better. You can tell me as we go. Yeah, so I've got like an odd place for the next couple of days where I'm desperately waiting for 3.6 to go to PT, wider PT to cover it. Got my little avocado badge to remind me that I'm an avocado and I'm not allowed to talk about things. It's really annoying. Okay, it's really annoying. I've been posting up and talking about my annoyance with Evocati recently, and it's very entitled little whiny opinion from me, so apologies for the whine, because it is a whine. It's like, I know a lot of people want to be in the Evocati. I'm just a bit of an idiot, that's all. So I've been sort of like trying to work out whether I want to cover the leaks or not, and there's lots of people say, yeah, cover the leaks, and a lot more people, it seems, at least are my viewers, that say, stay in the Evocati, it makes you more informed, even if you can't cover the leaks. Sort of like, you can talk with more authority. I was like, okay, I do see what you mean. As, you know, I don't like missing out on creating news, so not creating content on the leaks is just, I don't know, depressing to me. It makes me feel like I should be working and I'm not, like get like some sort of work guilt. But yeah, so if you want to ask any questions, feel free, question in brackets. Obviously, I can't answer anything very specific to the Evocati builds for 3.6, but we can talk about Evocati stuff in general. We can talk about 3.6 stuff that's on the roadmap and that sort of stuff, or whatever. I did put out a video that was slightly more critical than my normal videos. Well, it probably wasn't more critical. It was just focused on critical things about Star Citizen that I am sort of like aware of and watch very closely. Stuff that is sort of like more problem areas, sort of like monetization of the game in the future, pay to win elements, that sort of stuff that I don't want to become a I don't want them to have too many of them. I don't want them to get out of control. That sort of stuff. So I think it went down reasonably well. I mean, I'm obviously a massive Star Citizen fanboy, and I love the project, and I'm sort of like very at least time invested into the project when it comes to my channel and stuff. But I like to remain neutral. I mean, you could definitely get more views and more clicks the more negative you are. So clickbait negative titles are much more effective, sort of like alarmist titles and alarmist sort of like topics. Much more effective on YouTube typically, it seems. But I suppose it's people love drama. But I don't really want my channel to be like that. I'm happy to cover drama. I'm happy to have a clickbaitier title, because that's just title optimization. As long as that title is accurate to the content, as long as like someone clicks on that knowing that that's going to be in that video, not like, that was a clickbait bullshit title. It has to be a clickbait but accurate title. That's fine. Yeah, so waiting on 3.6 is really annoying, because 3.5 was reasonably disappointing to me for gameplay loops. So that it had some bugs in it. 3.5 sort of like broke a load of stuff, and there's the hope that 3.6 will fix a lot of that. And I think that's a pretty fair statement. Obviously, 3.6 might cause lots more problems in the future, because it's Star Citizen's an alpha. Once it gets to a more polished stage, hopefully towards when Squadron 42 releases or is feature complete, then we can have a much better experience with Star Citizen in general, getting slightly more stable patches. I apologise if the music was too low. When's it come out to the alpha? Well, alpha 3.6 is currently with the Evocati. And it could go to wider PTU based on what CIG want to do for testing this week. I would expect it to go to wider PTU by Friday, even if it's got some major problems still, because there's Evocati patches typically have major problems when they get rid of the most of them. Then they go to wider PTU. And I still am expecting a push for an every person PTU for beginning of next week, realistically. It's possible they're going to get it all done this week. There's probably quite a bit to do still. Although with 3.6, obviously they're not adding a huge amount of extra gameplay area or anything. That's not announced in the roadmap. So I am indeed good, laddie. Thank you very much. Bakana. You're in love. Well, you're only human. Scared my daughter. I'm very sorry. I have a face to scare people. Should be much better now. Much more balanced. Or do you think we'll get true persistence with 3.6? No. Not true persistence for 3.6. We'll get greater persistence probably with a lot of stuff, but we need server-side object container streaming, and full persistence will be tied in with that now. That's what it seems. I'm not going to talk about specifics of Evocati patches or leaks. Feel free to message each other about them, I suppose. Unfortunately, I can't talk about them, which is a shame. So my current decision to stay in the Evocati or to leave the Evocati and cover the leaks. It has to be one or the other. I can't do both. I can't be in Evocati and cover leaks. That's not how that agreement works. It's probably to stay in the Evocati at the moment. My gut and the head really tell me to leave so that I can make more content. However, there seems to be a lot of people saying they would prefer me not to overly speculate on the leaks and stuff. And that would sort of like maybe diminish some of the stuff on my channel, even if it would create more content during that sort of like Evocati phase. So I think that's fair enough. I can concentrate on other stuff during those Evocati phases. It's just I can't really play an Evocati and do my videos every day. It takes time to play an Evocati. I probably can. I can do both. What am I talking about? It just feels like wasted gameplay for me. I like basically record everything in Star Citizen, and I can't record in the Evocati, so. Have you heard that a YouTuber killed himself a few days ago? Yeah, Etika. I was going to do a video today called Mental Health and Me, but I thought it would get immediately demonetized by YouTube because they took a load of my videos down for talking about mental health in the past and having links there. I think that's what it got those got taken down for, or whatever. So that's something fucking awful. I think he was under 30 years old, the dude, and reasonably popular streamer, and he had had suicidal thoughts, and I believe he jumped off a bridge. I think started reading into it, and I went, oh god, that's just fucking awful. And mental health is a really tricky thing to address, because everyone's going to have a different mind, different tolerance to certain things, and some people get lucky, some people get unlucky. I certainly have mental health problems. I mean, I'm bipolar, and I have an anxiety condition, which makes me very erratic. I massively obsess over certain details that go round and round in my head for like weeks sometimes, and it can be sort of like stupid stuff that it'll be something totally random. They'll be like, this is going to happen, I feel that this is going to happen, and therefore I'm going to die, or I've got all my moles are cancerous, or something like that. Now, until I see the doctor, or until something else happens, I'm constantly worrying about that, and it's absolutely fucking crippling sometimes, and it's ridiculous. And I know it's ridiculous, and I know I shouldn't be worried about that sort of shit. And like, so sometimes like the worry of death, the worry of what if there's nothing when we die, and things like that. So like, what if I just stop existing? And I worry about that for weeks. And sometimes I can worry about something very, very, very particular, like hurting my cat. Like I'm worried about stroking my cat. I might hurt it. I'm worried about getting drunk because I might tread on my cat when I get here. And those sort of thoughts, they don't just sort of like go in and go out and go away. They'll stay with you and they'll attack you, little bastards. But I'm incredibly lucky with my mental health, because I know that I'll always feel better, and it's crippling or whatever it is. I have a terrifying fear of death, so I'm not going to ever hurt myself. But some people like try and bear it alone, and there is help out there for pretty much any country that you're in. There are free helplines, and I don't. I worry about mental health with people, because I don't know what to say. Like, what's right for me might not be right for you.
Salary can early. Treat yourself.
Thank you. I will treat myself, Narak. I'll talk about mental health more often if I get paid for it. No, but it's a somber kind of thing. Yeah, so if you are depressed, or if you are suicidal, or if you need help or whatever, make sure you reach out for it. You're not alone. It's not weak to do so. I needed help multiple times. I've had a very good family, got great friends. I don't have any shame talking about whenever I've been super mega depressed. I've always had great doctors as well. And if something's not working for you, talk about it. But fight tooth and claw. Fight tooth and claw for yourself. Try and make yourself happy. Try and dig out a bit of happiness in the world for yourself, because that's all you really got. I just want to be... I realised my life goals are to be reasonably comfortable financially and play computer games and board games with my friends, but that's about it. I don't want to live in luxury. I don't want to have millions of dollars or pounds or whatever. I just want to be pretty chill, pretty relaxed. But yeah. Let's move on back onto Star Citizen. So I'm still in a weird mood today, so apologies for that. If it's sort of like I'm a bit monotone and somber. I'm probably pre-diabetic, so I've just went to the doctor recently. Got to have a blood test. That's one of the reasons I've been so tired all the fucking time the last like 3 or 4 months. Then making sure I don't have type 2 diabetes, seeing if I'm pre-diabetic, whatever. I'm pretty sedentary when I work. I'm just in the chair all the time, so I'm really dieting now. I'm really doing a load of exercise. Hopefully I can get into a much better physical place, and hopefully that'll actually improve my sort of like erraticism. If a ship, say the Retaliator, has torpedoes explode, would you get a bigger blast with big blast damage? Oh, so I believe when we have updated systems for that and physicalized components, I think the idea is that yes, those internal torpedoes could explode. They could explode for various reasons if they get hit or there's a surge or something. And then and that would be one of the reasons their ship might really explode rather than just be disabled. You see what I mean? assuming that torpedoes actually work like that and they're not like just safe unless they detonate themselves. The leaks are everywhere and they're covered elsewhere very well. Toast seem to be in the opinion that spreading them was a violation of the TOS and EULA for Star Citizen, so leave it to Noob and people. Yeah, so yeah, Eradicator, Super Mac Brothers, Noob, I think they will do pretty good coverage of the leaks. Okay. I will, it just feels like a departure from I want to be a one-stop shop for news when it comes to Star Citizen. Sort of like feels that. Let me turn that music down slightly. I'm not sure if it's loud or not. I don't fucking know. Does 3.6 appear to solve any annoying bugs like ladder and ramp deaths, etc.? I can't talk about the specifics of it, but I mean, assume that there's going to be a level of bug fixes and quality of life fixes, and it is marked in the roadmap that they're working on transit systems. So I would assume that ladders and ramps may be part of that. Obviously, ladders and ramps and physics grids and that sort of stuff, and stuff that is animated as part of a physics grid that they have problems with. So, any word on the 890 jump and when it will be on sale, if it's released? So, no word on it beyond we know it's not going to be in the initial release of 3.6, but it will be in a 3.6 branch patch, so 3.6.x or whatever. I'm expecting it to be around $890 or $990 if it goes back on sale. So I quite like drama when it comes to talking about Star Citizen and stuff. I quite like drama in general, I suppose. I like watching drama. Drama's interesting to me. I quite like sort of like I love people's opinions. I love seeing different sides of things. I think it's really weird and odd that people can be such a strong opinion about something, and then someone can have the entirely opposite opinion based on the same or similar sets of facts. It's very, very interesting. People that are like incredibly. I hope that I'm not stubborn enough to ever have a view or have many views that are sort of like opinion based, but I think I'm right, like 100% right, and I won't be changed, won't be swayed. I think I'm pretty reasonable as a person. I'm probably incredibly unreasonable sometimes. Any idea why they don't drop the server count until they've resolved some of the issues? Well, maybe they will for 3.6 if they haven't resolved it, and if that would work as a resolution. I mean, it might not necessarily be the amount of players on the server. It might just be when the server spawns too many entities in general, and that would happen over time anyway, and just reducing the server count might just slow that down slightly. See what I mean? Mantis, thank you very much for the bits. 3.5.1 was an improvement on 3.5, but I hope 3.6 steps up its QA game. Sometimes it feels like the efforts of people in PTU and Evo go to waste. I also feel better soon, man. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just a bit tired and just sort of a bit meh. Waiting for 3.6. So bad. Go to wider PTU. You want me to do more clickbaity thumbnails? Okay, well, I mean, maybe. You know what happened to the AI that was supposed to be landing and taking off at hero landing areas? So yeah, they worked on them, and they had them working in a couple of patches, but they were quite buggy, and they were causing server problems, I believe. So it's one of the things that AI and server tech and general problems with NPC ships that are all sort of like working on at the moment will be fixed in, hopefully, the not too distant future, or say fixed, be in again in the not too distant future. I recently upgraded my Mustang to the Origin 325A, and I was blown away by how much better the thing is to fly compared to the Mustang. What's your first ship that you flew, other than the starters? The 325A, and I agree with you, but you're flying the new 325A, which I used the old one. The old one used to be amazing in Vandal Swarm, and is the reason that I learnt to fly in it, because you could lock on all your missiles to multiple targets, loads of Vandal, who were all coming at you from a single direction, and then you fire them all at once and like take out 4 targets. which was, or 3 targets or whatever, which was fantastic, especially if you're sort of like playing almost competitively in Vandal Swarm to get kills. Is there any news on being able to complete missions with your group and share income? So that's mission sharing, and some of the sort of semi-related to that is the organization features pillar, which they are working on. So that's permission systems, so that you can use other people's ships and certain systems in ships, so you can organize your org and your party better. Lots of quality of life stuff for parties and stuff. But yeah, so they want mission sharing, they want group missions, they want the sharing of loot and stuff automatically when you complete missions. The idea is that in the shorter term, that you'll have the group leader will be able to have access to all of the other parties' missions, and then be able to share that one as the mission that everyone can do, and then anyone can complete the objectives in that mission, unless it's sort of like, take this item which one person's holding over there, then the person has to take the item over there. It's not going to be in 3.6. I'm hoping it's going to be in 3.7, but Todd Pappy talked about it and basically said, not in 3.6. But beyond that, we don't know. It's obviously almost certainly going to be relatively high prioritized, but probably 3.7, which would be the end of September, probably. When is 3.6 released? We don't know. It's supposed to go to wider PTU or live by the end of this month. So I'm expecting wider PTU beginning of next week, probably. There could be a delay on 3.6. I was expecting it to be in wider PTU Wave 1 by now. So, but I would expect wider PTU by the end of this week. Well, I'm at least hoping for it. I mean, you never know. There might be blockers that they can't fix or whatever with the Evocati build. Are the trading mechanics up for review anytime soon? Yeah. They're making a consistent, constant effort, concerted effort on balancing the economy and evolving sort of like trade routes and that sort of stuff. So expect better and better trade mechanics in the near future. I believe in 3.9, let me actually bring this up on the screen for you as well to give you a bit more information. In 3.9, we're getting commodity transfer timers, so that's going to have you landing somewhere, and then whether you're putting cargo on your ship or getting it off your ship, there's going to be a time associated with that. They're getting accounting apps so we can trade money and have a look at all our, I believe trade money anyway, not 100% sure on that, but we'll be able to see all our assets and then trade them, move stuff around. Got some active economy display terminals, so we'll be able to see commodities and have commodity information and economy information, and I'll dispose them much more readily and stuff like that. So lots more stuff coming in 3.9. In 3.8, I would expect a little bit more when it comes to cargo, maybe, because they've got the Hull C there, and to have something like the Hull C, which is a massive cargo freighter where cargo crates will stick to the outside, they do need larger cargo containers, and otherwise they've got too many entities on the servers and everything implodes. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Cookie Bub, PG Bub. What ship do you want to see on the roadmap for Alpha 4.0? I mean, if I could choose Polaris or Banded Merchantman, probably Polaris, just because I want to see the combat with the Polaris. Oh, the tray, that's what we just talked about. Are we there yet? So there are some rumours about a couple of ships and vehicles, which we will talk about a bit later. It's just some sort of like leaked rumours and stuff like that about the Mantis and the Ballista. We don't know. We don't really know anything about them beyond sort of like, we're not even sure if they're going to be in a game. We just don't know. Some people are saying that they might be in 3.6 live. Some people are saying that they might be Squadron 42 thing. And other people are saying that they're just old renamed things. But recently, Chris Roberts did say that they want to push towards a more straight to live for some ships and vehicles, like they did with the Valkyrie, like they did with the Arrow. So potentially we could have some little surprises in 3.6. How hype are you for the 890 jump? Probably. See, the problem is they've also got the Carrack coming out this year potentially, which I am both hyped for, but very hyped for the 890 jump. Yeah, so they want to have giant animals. This was the original procedural tech for planets. So the procedural tech's come quite a long way since then. And they want to have animals and stuff in the game. Obviously, that's a giant sandworm. Obviously, a lot of this is more scripty. But animals and stuff in game at some point. What are your thoughts on org building within UEE space or outside it? Any plans there? I don't know what you mean specifically. Your org will both exist both in UEE space and outside of it. I suppose all unlawful orgs less so. But you can have presences in both. I'm a bit confused what you mean. Would we be able to do cargo runs on the Idris and Javelin? Yeah, we'll have a cargo bay. Technically, you could do that. Might not be the most effective and efficient, but... CitizenCon ticket price. What was last year's ticket price? Let's use that. CitizenCon 948. So, CitizenCon tickets are they available today or tomorrow? Have I put up the CitizenCon tickets are available today? I think I have. I'm an idiot. It's Wednesday, not Thursday. That is how idiotic I am. Thought it was Thursday. Don't know how much they were. Do we have right? The premium tickets were $130. Or maybe it does say in the thing how much tickets are. I am a bit special today. I 100% had the ticket prices up here. But I can't find them now. So it looks like there's only going to be one type of ticket. It doesn't look like there's premium tickets, which is good. It was 100 and... Standard tickets were $87, 130. Cool. $87 last year. So I'd expect, yeah, between $50 and $90 maybe. Robert Johnston, thank you very much. I think there will always be regional servers, as you can change the laws of physics. As you cannot change the law of physics, in fact. You can in a game. I can never have a fair ping here against someone in America. I know what you mean. Yeah, so I talked about it in my video yesterday. Pings and regions and stuff like that, and latency may be an issue for Star Citizen. We'll have to wait and see. Some games seem to not suffer from it too badly. It's going to be probably more in fast-paced dogfighting and FPS shooting. It's obviously going to be a lot more important to not have ping differences between people. I want more video titles like 7 tips to get a big ship, and Chris Roberts hates these UEC making secrets. Oh my god. Oh my god. Done. Gonna have loads of them. After your many years of experience with Star Citizen, do you still enjoy making content on it? Yeah. 99% of the time I do. There are some days I'm depressed or tired or want to go to bed. So what I do isn't particularly taxing when it comes to. I'd say it's not massive effort. I quite enjoy what I do. I get to read a lot. I get to research a lot, and what it is time consuming. It's not sort of like, oh my god, I need to get my head around this. It's like read and watch and understand pretty easily. It's just I have to, because it's like news-based typically, or breakdowns, it's constant. Hello from Denmark. Hello to Denmark. Will you ever be able to upgrade to larger ships such as the Idris, Kraken, Hercules, A2, Hammerhead, Jump, etc.? For some of them, yeah. So some of them might have cross-chassis upgrades in the future. The larger ones, the really expensive ones, typically don't, though. So like, and promo ships. Some promo ships won't. How realistic do you think Q4 2020 is for a beta of the persistent universe? For the beta of the persistent universe, no, because it depends on how you define beta. So define beta first. If you're talking about something that is nearing feature completion, and then goes back into testing before a on-the-shelf release, no. Squadron 42 is more likely to be released or final stages Q4 2020. Do you think the Warden will be on sale as the 890 Jump, or that will be mainly on 3.7? I think you'll see, with 3.6 going live, you'll see a flyable ship sale, and you'll probably see the Vanguard Warden and P-72 and ships like that go on sale. Potentially the 890 Jump as well, but I would expect that to be on sale again once it's in game, so later on in 3.6's branch. Do you know if the 3.6 will support better reworks of missiles on ships? Will they be more effective? I know that there's a concerted plan to get missiles in a better state, and I think they're getting some of the improvements of the new flight model, because they're on quite a derpy old system. So, I mean, missiles are going to get reworked. Missiles are going to be more useful, or at least, or whatever. Obviously, there's going to be improvements and stuff to the shields going forward as well, and general physicalized components and targeting of those. So, yeah, expect lots of changes for missiles, but I can't tell you exactly what they are, because I don't know yet. Mission sharing and money trading between players should have been in years ago. Changed my mind. No, you're right, Mantis. It should have been an earlier stage thing, and more of the sort of like multi-crew gameplay should have been in as well. What's the footage behind you? So it's, I believe it's CitizenCon from 2017. It was the first sort of like look at the procedure plans. Was it earlier than that? 2017? Was it 2016? Even 2016. Oh god. Great with dates. Procedural planets. Planets. B2 stars. (2016). CitizenCon 2016. Oh god. Any updates on the Hull series? No, beyond that they want to get the Hull C in for 3.8. It looks like they also want the Hull C for Squadron 42. What about a fully loaded Starfarer with those massive fuel tanks used to take out Hammerhead, say, by ramming or self-destruct as a tactic? We don't know if that fuel that it has in its tanks is going to be combustible in the same way, without some sort of catalyst. So just trying to blow it up might not be like that. Might not be flammable, inflammable, whatever. I suspect that ordnance and weapons will be more effective than making makeshift ordnance. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff in 3.6 I can't talk about. Yes. Unable to fly my Aquila as the lift keeps killing me. Haha, go figure. So I think the plan is to fix a lot of transit systems and some of the physics grid stuff for ships for 3.6. I'm hoping that a lot of the quality of life problems that previous patches have suffered from are more fixed than previously. Is ESP still a thing? Yeah, but I turned it off. She's auto gimbals. Auto gimbals, 10 off ESP, use auto gimbals. Is another server wipe expected with 3.6? Yes. Has CIG ever mentioned anything about stock market for player trading? Not precisely. There's obviously a larger economy simulation going on. There's obviously going to be ways to trade and make money and lots of economy things happening, but we don't know to what extent yet. Was there more details on the Titan suit? I had a rumor that it's coming with an anvil reveal. I haven't heard that rumor in particular. There are plans to have it ready for Q4 of this year for Squadron 42. It might mean that we see it at CitizenCon. It might mean that it's ready at CitizenCon or around then, potentially. Or it might mean it's later. I think the idea of the Titan suits is to have them as they have some utility uses as well as being able to be weaponized. So we might see variants, or we might just see lots of different arms and weapon attachments and things for them. More exosuity than mech-like, though. Will 3.6 improve missile effectiveness? I would expect changes to the meta in 3.6, though we won't know until it's in our hands how that's balanced. When do you think we'll get server-side object container streaming and server meshing? I think we could start to see server-side object container streaming by the end of this year, potentially. Server meshing next year is when I'd expect to see static server meshing. Can we use the Polaris as an exploration ship? Yeah, why not? Might not be as effective as like a Carrack, which is more higher tiered, geared towards that. But yeah, why not? Do you think we'll get animations for when they load and unload cargo in the future? I don't know. I mean, it's possible that they might use that as a mechanic for creates missions for NPCs and players to be able to load and unload cargo. And that's a good way of players that have run out of money and are stranded to be able to get some money to get a ship or to rent something. I think they'll consider doing load and unload times. Maybe could also consider not doing any load and unload times. And some of it they'll probably try to physicalize if they go for loading and unloading in the end. I don't know how that's all going to balance. Star Citizen likes to do stuff relatively immersively. So, yeah, I think that you might see people walk up to a ship and stuff. I mean, your ship might not be accessible while it's getting loaded and unloaded. And it's sort of like might be obscured and sort of like implied with animations and sort of like a busy cargo bay, just in general, rather than actually physicalized specific animations for NPCs working with your ship. Do you see what I mean? They might take your ship somewhere else. Org-specific bank accounts, question mark? Don't know yet. I'd expect some form of organization finances, though. And they might be in control of by a single player, or they might have missions that more people can use. I would expect org hangers and org bank accounts, though. Will we ever get drop pods or some kind of air drop mechanic? They want to be able to survive, or have people survive when they eject an atmosphere. So something is going to be there for that. Some of the like Vandal ships. Like the Cleaver, I believe. That looks like a sort of like more of a boarding pod or a drop pod, I suppose. We could see drop pods. I mean, there are obviously going to be escape pods. Would you like to see some low-tech assets in the game? Wooden huts, stone buildings, ruins and such? Maybe. I think they might have a place on certain planets. I mean, they're obviously going to... Even low-tech stuff's going to be of a higher tech than we have now, but so there's going to be like we know there's going to be like shanty towns and things like that, and I suppose they'll use whatever they've got near them. So maybe you'd see sort of like more makeshift rocky buildings and stuff like that. I don't think they want to make it look like a medieval castle or anything. It is Thursday. What? It's not Thursday today. It's Wednesday today. Don't confuse me. So confused. Or is it Thursday where you are? What? Ah. If a sexy bald fairy let you choose on a ship that magically appear tomorrow, what would it be? I could just... I'll have my javelin. I'll have javelin. Give me javelin. I hear rumours that the Vanguards are getting a bit of cargo. Apparently something to do with the devs about the Valkyrie getting cargo. Can't remember what it was exactly said. It's possible that there might be a little tiny bit of cargo for Vanguards. There's at least going to be room for like weapons racks and placing armor and EV suits and stuff like that in them. I'm not 100% sure whether they're going to be getting cargo. I can't remember what was said. Know anything about when they might or will finally make the rest stop stations into spawn points? Nope, don't know anything about that, unfortunately. I want to see the rest stops become spawn points, but I also like to see medical ships and certain ships become, potentially even just beds in the shorter term, become spawn points for party members. I don't believe there's premium tickets this year. Doesn't look like there is for CitizenCon. How will NPCs know if goods are stolen? A box of steel is a box of steel. So I think stuff's like either registered stolen, or at the moment it might just be the very simple mechanic of just them scanning you and they sort of like just know it's stolen. It might be as well that it's for missions, stolen goods and stuff. I mean, yeah, the Starlink, or is it Black Fiber? The other one, things like that. I mean, they might, I hope, severely reduce latency around the globe. Hey, Bored, with the game servers in a pretty shaky state in 3.5, especially at launch, do you think the last couple of free fly events could actually be doing harm rather than good in regards to public perception of the game? I think it's irrelevant. I mean, they need to do them. It's what the game is at the moment. The project is open, and they need to show off the game as it is. Yeah, sometimes it's a broken, buggy piece of shit. Sometimes it's great. Also, considering those server issues are compounded by free fly in the first place, is there any word yet if CIG will be doing a digital goodies bag for CitizenCon similar to 2018? Yeah, I'd expect them to do a digital goodies pack or something again. No forced buying stream tickets, though, I would expect. Like last year they tried that, and there was a lot of backlash and they changed their mind. Do you think we'll get nukes in game? No, I suspect that nukes will be off the table. Do I have plans for growing this channel? So I'm sort of like learning my craft, learning how to edit and that sort of stuff still at the moment. I'm getting a full-time employee pretty soon. Basically, when Star Citizen is more playable, I'm going to switch up to more, additional gameplay and guides, as well as streaming a lot more. So I'm pretty happy with the growth. I'm pretty chill. Star Citizen's rented texture on Lumberyard will mean watching YouTube on Twitch, also Amazon on MFDs? Question mark. Yeah, so tech-wise, I believe that if they want to, CIG and Star Citizen can have stuff being streamed from external to game into game. So yeah, YouTube videos or music or whatever if they want to do, and the other way around as well, potentially. So stuff straight from in-game to Twitch if they wanted to, not as an in-game thing rather than just a streaming service. But how they're going to implement that and what they're actually going to do is another matter entirely. How's the court case going? We don't know as of the 17th of this month. We are waiting on whether the judge, within the next couple of days, I believe. So there's a Crytek v Cloud Imperium going, so Crytek versus Star Citizen case on at the moment. And the judge should So there's a case going on between them at the moment with Crytek basically suing Star Citizen for changing engine effectively, breaking their contract with them, stuff like that. And Cloud Imperium saying, well, we're allowed to change engine. That's what we've done. So there's lots of little complaints with that. Lots of Crytek's complaints have now actually been dismissed already by the court, which is great for CIG. But Crytek are now saying that Squadron 42 shouldn't have been able to be developed on the CryEngine in the first place, and they're still using CryEngine code. Even if it's in Lumberyard, it's still CryEngine code, things like that. So CIG are like, well, they're using Lumberyard. It's Lumberyard code now, and we shouldn't have sold it. At the moment, CIG are requesting that Crytek put up a bond for $2.2 million so that their legal fees will be covered if they win. Because if CIG win, they want to go, you have to pay all our fees. They don't want them to be like, oh, we can't pay. So at the moment, we're waiting for the judge to rule on that, or the court to rule on that, and that will be on the 28th, I believe, of this month, that we'll find out what's happening with that bond. And the trial date at the moment, unless either of the parties settle with, unless they settle, is for the 24th of March 2020. It's not a, it's mostly been sort of like mitigated and dismissed a lot of the important points now, in my opinion anyway. Crytek have actually recently changed lawyers from Squadron to another firm, or another two firms, which was weird. But, is CIG going to build other capital ships? Yep, almost certainly. Expect to see more in the future. We know that there's going to be the Redemption and stuff like that as well, which is like a super dreadnought. But expect to see capital ships for like the Xi'an and the potentially more Banu stuff, and the Kurthak, and maybe Tavar and stuff. And obviously, there's lots of Vandal ships, but the UEE should also get some more in the future. I mean, there's a concierge event on the 24th of August, and there's an expectation that there will be an Aegis, a capital ship being unveiled there. Do you know if they're still using Scaleform for UIs to develop them? I believe one of the reasons that they're redoing the HUDs and the UIs is to make sure that there's no legacy code or whatever left in them, I suspect, from Scaleform. So I expect they're all on the a new system. They might have already actually moved away from that, and they just want to make the HUDs and UIs better. But they're really working them. Maybe it's possible we could see a new play-ready ship coming with 3.6. Yeah, play-ready ship or vehicle. People have speculated, and there's rumours of that. Did they fix the VFDs in the Constellation series in 3.6? VFDs. I can't talk about the specifics of 3.6, unfortunately. Expect quality of life improvements. Some of those problems will be fixed, some of them won't. How do you know if your ESP is off? If the HUD no longer has an icon for its status. That's a fucking good point. You know. You're not snapping to everything. Any idea if ships that were broken by 3.5, like the Reliant not being able to hold delivery boxes and possibly the 4, will be addressed in 3.6? As I said, I'm hoping that that's the case. Had the Vanguard, as we talked about that. Thoughts on a medium-sized mining ship or vehicle? Yeah, I think we'll see vehicles for most of the roles in game as well, like mining, repair, salvage, stuff like that as well. But medium miner, medium salvage ship, that makes a lot of sense as well. With the Carrack slated for December, should we be hearing more on its Scout and Rover soon? So yeah, I'm expecting we'll see like stuff on the Pisces at some point in the near future. Rover-wise, there's the Origin Rover. Is the Carrack supposed to have its own Scout Rover as well? Or does it get an Origin Rover? Why can't we sell all our cargo at once? Is that a bug? It's very little by little. So it's sort of like a really bad game design choice at the moment. That should be changing into commodity timers in 3.8. Potentially, we'll get a different way of doing it in the short term, though. Do we think we'll see a new concept this week? Okay. We could see a new concept. I'm thinking that more likely we'll see some stuff straight to flyable, drivable with 3.6, though. Is the Warden going to remain as undergunned as it has been? Expect the Warden to be rebalanced and have lots of options for 3.6. Can you name any other game that has server meshing? Well, Atlas. There's a few games that use server meshing. The thing that's special, Star Citizen server meshing, is it's going to be dynamic, so it can literally turn any individual object container or ship, whatever, into its server, and it's going to be seamless. The handover isn't loading screens or whatever. It's literally seamlessly hands between them, and they can communicate with each other. We have to buy toilet paper for our ships. Wow. Maybe there will be a general supplies category that you actually need for cleaning toiletries and things like that on your ship. Maybe. I think that might be a little bit too much, but maybe. They might want to have associated running costs for larger ships and having like NPC crew and stuff. Will there be any kind of magic in this sci-fi setting? No. Unless it's a secret and there's going to be sci-fi mages from the Kurthak or something. But not as far as I'm aware, no. Will we get destructible environments to some degree? So they've worked on destructible props, destructible lights and stuff like that. So yes, to at least some extent. We know they've also worked on lots of destructible sort of like ways that bulkheads can buckle and things like that. So to some extent, destructible environments or parts of environments that are going to be destructible, but I'm not sure to what extent. What did premium tickets at CitizenCon give you? Access to an exclusive bar, good seating, like at the front. Which profession branch are you most excited about? Economy and industrial stuff in general. So salvage mining. I suppose surveying and base building is probably what I'm most excited about when I really think about it. What else have we got here? I'm worried about risk and reward in Star Citizen, which is fundamental mechanics. With you still getting your ship components back, what is to stop larger orgs simply out moneying you? Yeah, so there needs to be ways of driving the economy and risk and reward, and ways that you have to spend your money regularly. So they need something with that. That can be insurance, that can be fuel costs, that can be armaments and that sort of stuff. There's lots of ways they can do it. I don't know exactly what they're going to do and how it's all going to balance yet. I don't suspect they do either. It's something they'll iterate on and work out once they have more mechanics in. You keep threatening us with some new hire for more than half a year now. Is there any clear plan, or is it just a bored carrot like CIG does with Subflare? It's just a carrot for Zin, mate. No, so I wanted Zin by the end of June, actually, but they moved house. There are a mixture of things that sort of like are a bit of a worry. There's lots of stuff that I then have to work out and do my end, and I have to be responsible for. So it's a little bit less cut and dry. I am going to be talking to Zin about it in more detail soon. I don't know when that'll be. It might be a month. It might be 2 months. But to actually talk about it properly, and then we're going to meet up and sign contracts and stuff, assuming that still does go ahead. It is very likely to go ahead, and it is planned to. But it's sort of like, it was an idea for a while. And I do want a full-time employee, and I would like that to be Zin. Let's see how it really affects other people other than have more content on my channel at the moment, though. So it's not really a carrot. It's more sort of like, this is my current thinking. Any word if the 300 series missing radar bug is being addressed in 3.6? Expect quality of life improvements in 3.6. Can't talk about the specifics. What are you sick of talking about? Pretty cool just to talk. Would you consider doing an AMA with VoIP and VoIP? Yes, 100%. I'll do lots more stuff in game. Are Crytek the good or the bad guys? I think law cases are not moral things, typically, when it comes to contract law and stuff. So you can't really look at them as being good or bad guys. They're more CIG. You finally called a live stream. Congratulations. Yes, they have. Crytek had not paid their employees for quite a long time at one point, apparently. If you had to cook a romantic dinner for a lady friend, what would it be? I mean, I'd ask them what they like, subtly, maybe. And then I used to be a chef, so... it depends on the person. Like, for example, I know lots of girls that would love a good quality steak dinner. Just do a proper steak dinner, bam, with like some A5 prime steaks or something. That you could do lots of different stuff. I mean, I'm pretty good with Asian food and Italian. It would depend on what they like. When will they have a better web page, more user-friendly? I don't know! I want a better web page for them. I do agree with you. What we've got at the moment is a bit sort of like painful. Eh? When's the spider miner coming? So that's the Cygnus you're talking about. It's currently listed for Squadron 42 for end of this quarter, I believe, actually. Was it next quarter? End of this quarter. They're already done. When's the Cygnus? Why have I lost it? It's moved to quarter 4, 2019. I thought it... This is what I fucking know. That's moved. I didn't realise it was there. Might have even reported that it was there and just forgotten. Yeah, so the Cygnus is moved out to Q4 2019. Could see it in Persistent Universe around then, but I would expect to see it a bit later, maybe after Squadron 42 is released. Which wax do you use to polish your head? It's sort of like naturally occurring when Lord. Hey, BoredGamer, any more words on more land vehicles? J-Bird, that people are speculating that there's going to be an Anvil Ballista, potentially in 3.6. And also, obviously, we need to load more ground vehicles, like military ones and lots of different types of utility ones. So expect more and more. Hey, Bored, I love you, man, but it's going to be 100% truthful. Just so you know, it's not personal, but your head is kind of reminds me of a beluga dolphin. Thanks. I have a really long head. It is my terrible disability to bear, okay? I have an odd-shaped head. It's something... I mean, I can always put a hat on, I suppose, to cover it up. Maybe... I think it's more like a potato now. It's like an egg from the front, a potato from the side, and yeah, appreciate the honesty though, Blackhawk. Thanks. Fucking hell. Still shilling on this game, so sad. More sad that you come into my channel to watch it and say that. That I'm assuming you're being more ironic. Core systems like server meshing and item persistence are in a lot of the game. Wouldn't it be easier to buy the rights from third party and then adapt it for Star Citizen? No. I mean, they'd have to write it for Lumberyard. That's one of the problems with CryEngine and Lumberyard, is that it's not really built for that sort of scale of multiplayer stuff, so they had to build it themselves. Will we ever see NPCs trading with ships and landing on mining areas so people have a chance to maybe steal them? Bjorn, maybe in certain areas. I think more likely you're going to see theft of ships when it comes to like disabling them more outside of landing areas. But you'll probably see some landing areas that are less enforced law-wise. Maybe people will steal each other's ships and stuff, or hack into them or whatever. But if you get detected doing that, even in an sort of like less lawful zone, they might still have laws around that station. The new law system sort of like has jurisdiction zones and things like that, where some laws apply, not others. And even in the like, even Grimhacks will have its own laws, sort of thing. You see what I mean? Probably. Will we ever see NPCs trading with ships and landing on mining areas so people have a chance to maybe steal them? That's what I just read. Why did I read that again? But I would also expect to see prospectors and stuff landing more often. I don't think you're going to see much in the way of theft straight out of lawful landing zones as well. Hello, is there any news on what ships will fit in the 890 jump? Nope. Beyond the 85X, I think it can fit probably two 85Xs. So ships, I'm expecting like maybe the Sable will fit and things like that, but it will come down to the actual door size. What are you going to wear to CitizenCon? I haven't thought about anything yet. Any special shirts calling out Chris, give you a kiss, or to put you in game or something? Maybe de facto I will crowdfund or request from my VIPs to vote on something silly to wear. If insurance runs out on a ship you purchased with real money and someone steals it, can CIG legally remove it from your account? So, once the game is live, and they say it's all live, we're not entirely sure to what level bought ships will have insurance. So it's possible that they have a permanent level of statutory insurance. But like, yeah, you lost your ship, you didn't buy any other insurance, which you should have, but you can still buy that ship back. You still get it back on the insurance if you pay 75% of its full cost or something like that in-game. So we're not entirely sure, but yes, CIG can remove it from your account. You don't own that ship. CIG own that ship still. But one of the things with game assets and things.
Good morning, Bored. Been a while since I've seen this stream. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Delamars. Smiley face indeed. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you very much for joining me, Delamars. I love you. With the new persistence for the changes, upgrades, do you have... with the new persistence for the changes and upgrades, you do to your ship. Oh my god, I can't read. You do to your ship. How do you claim it back to stock? Remove guns from the cutlass to put them on a tanner. You change them with the Mobiglass app. Do you think we're going to be getting gameplay loops for the Carrack when it comes out? I think that we'll see more and more... Well, in 3.8 they're also having the dynamic mission system. I suspect they'll constantly expand out sort of like general interesting points of interest and stuff to find. So maybe some uses the Carrack or sort of like more exploration, interesting things. But exploration is a huge long-term gameplay mechanic. So not proper exploration yet when it comes out, but some more stuff to do. Or is there an update when we might see the content from this planet in the 2016 procedural planets demo included in-game? Nope, no indication of when. I'm expecting we'll see new star systems or a new star system next year. Whenever the 890 was on sale before, were you able to upgrade it or only buy it? I think you are only able to buy it. Will missiles be improved in 3.6? Expect some balance changes, and missiles will be properly reworked at some point, I believe. I would expect improvements to missiles in 3.6, but we don't know until it's in our hands. Apparently YouTube doesn't like my name. Oh, why? Why? Why doesn't it like my name? You're right, Flint. I hope it's going well. Why is Aventador so awesome? Aventador, I'm reasonably good friends with Aventador. I know he is leader of a sort of like quite naughty, disliked org, but I get on very well with him. I like him. I'm pretty person neutral though. I can, I mean, he certainly does stuff wrong. I'm not saying he's not a bit of a dick sometimes. Have losing equipped, but he has given me and donated a lot of money to me, so that does push things massively up in his favour for being a friend. Have losing equipped weapons always been a thing? So they've just changed it in 3.5.1 so that changes persist with your ship, and when you reclaim your ship, the idea is that you get your those changes that you made stay on your ship. But if in the future you'll have to insure your ship and stuff like that for those changes to stick or whatever, or however they do insurance. If you lose a weapon that's in your hand, you'll drop it on the floor. Buy it up again. Don't think you lose all your weapons and items at the moment. I think you lose the one that's literally in your hand when you die. You created gamer was bald. What? What? Did I notice that I'm a sexy bald furry? What? What's happening? Don't cover your glorious head with a hat. It's a magnificent sight to behold. J. Birdmax, perfect. When the Carrack comes out, allegedly, at the end of 2019, it's currently pegged for release Q4 2019. Do you think they'll do a concept sale for just the snub ship? What was it called? The Pisces. I need another small snub. Potentially. Don't know. Oh yeah, I would expect it to be sold separately as well. Even if it's just concept at that time. It might even go straight to flyable. When will we win the war against the corrupt and greedy? Never. Like, there's always going to be corruption. There's always going to be greed. It's separating corruption and greed from capitalism and meritocracy and things like that, and democracy. There are always extremes and people that push the envelope in a bad way. What do you expect Squadron 42 is going to be like? Well, we've seen a load of the Squadron 42 sort of like vertical slice and stuff. I expect it's going to be a mixture of a modern day wing commander, but then obviously have some pretty strong FPS gameplay. I mean, it's not going to be focused on the FPS gameplay as far as I'm aware. That's going to like more be interaction and stuff like that. But there is going to be parts of the story that are FPS combat. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very much looking forward to it. Why are Squadron 42 chapters so far behind? It's hard to tell if they're far behind or not. Oh, they haven't completed any of the chapters that were mapped for Q1 except for chapter 21. I mean, so if you look at the chapters, they're still sort of like pegged for completion by the end of by Q2 2020. I mean, you could see delays. I would expect that there was something that meant they literally couldn't finish any of them as tasks, something they're waiting on that actually mark them finished. Don't know what though. Wear the jacket! Wow. I'm not a jacket-wearing toy that you can just play with the emotions of. Is it true that Squadron 42 will be released in December? That is not true. Maybe Q4 of next year. At the earliest, I would say as well. You should go to CitizenCon as Tessa Bannister. Wow. Have you made up the Saurus? Or when are you going to be on Redact again? I haven't fallen out with Saurus or anything. I said I felt guilty because I was supposed to be on Redacted and I sort of forgot a while ago. So I need to sort of like apologise to him. I would like to be on a Redacted again at some point. I do. Saurus really helped me out when I was super depressed a while ago. And obviously working with him to work on Redacted was really cool. And I thought it was a great podcast that we did. But I don't really stay that much in contact with anyone, not even like Twerk, who I consider one of my best mates. So like I'm busy most of the time. But I will contact him. I will try and see if he wants me on Redacted again. When are we going to be able to disable ships instead of blowing them up? Physicalized components, I think they're working towards them at the moment. I don't know when though. I was hoping by the end of this year, but it's not on the roadmap. Some time ago, you plastered your room and showed it off. Any more changes or upgrades to the board streaming cockpit? So I've got sort of like a little plant pot thing there, as you see. Not really any changes at the moment. I've got a running machine behind that green screen. I've got some weights. Got some actual proper lighting now, which is turned off. Got a air conditioner. But no real changes other than that. There's a load of memory foam and stuff on the walls. Memory foam? No, acoustic foam. Will we ever have more items and gadgets focused on roleplay roles, like medics, scouts, generals, commanders? So, it's obviously going to be medic as a role. You're going to be dragging people, stabilizing them. They're going to have some medical mechanics in game. Even you're going to be able to stab people with sort of like mini syringes and stabilize them or give them a quick little boost or whatever. But there's going to be other gadgets as well, like deployable shields and probably stuff like claymores and holograms and things like that. Different types of grenade. Do you know when the Xi'an Oracle Carrier is coming? No, I don't know any of the specifics of the Xi'an stuff at the moment. Bored, why do you think it is that we love you so much? I don't know, Boo Huxley. It's because I think I'm the everyman's YouTuber. Like, if you look at me, you go, I could do that. At any level. Do I listen to when I play? I don't listen to music when I play, typically. General music off in game normally. Procedural generation and stuff like that, some of the tech for Star Citizen is a magnitudes better than what they've got in the moment. It's just the area that we've got does not feel full of life. It doesn't have animals. It doesn't have NPCs roving around in hordes. It doesn't have progression. There's loads of problems with Star Citizen at the moment, and that's because it's an alpha. It's not ready for that. Curious as to how much you earn doing what you do. You will most likely tell me how much you make, but you can whether it's more or less than an average full-time job. It ranges from like maybe 2,500 a month low period to all the way up to like maybe 8,000 or 9,000 a month at the moment. So like towards Christmas time and stuff, it can be a lot of money. That's in total. That's sort of like that's YouTube. That's referral stuff from sort of like Shadow and and NordVPN and donations and all that sort of stuff added together. So it's a bit of a range. Can be really high and it can be reasonable. There are 8 carriers supposed to come in the game so far. Do you know of any more? Pegasus, Bengal, Karak. You're talking about true carriers? Talking about human carriers? Or are you also including stuff like the 890 jump and things like that in it? Javelin is the Idris, a carrier, but the Idris is a carrier. But, do you think CIG will release a proper alternative to the Karak? I mean, they did. The Corsair. I love seeing you in game, especially using VoIP and FOIP. Any plans to get into more of this? Yeah, 100%. When Star Citizen is more playable and easily has more gameplay like in game, probably actually just from 3.6, I'll do a lot more stuff in game. I'll do more streams from in game. I'll do more gameplay on my channel. I guess is what the Sandworm surprise will be at this year's CitizenCon. Like a Space Whale or a Giant Spider. We don't know what's going to be at CitizenCon really. I think we might see Squadron 42 episode 1 release date. I think we might see jump points, new systems, 3.8 and potentially 3.9 gameplay. So Microtech and Horizon on Crusader. Animals maybe. Probably show off aliens a bit better in general, so like the Vandal if they're ready. There's also stuff they could show. We don't know for sure. BoredGamer, your forehead is project the light back to the camera. I know it's just the way my face is. Like that can do that. Eliminate that light. Let's move over here. There we go. Damn your shiny head. BoredGamer, do you remember a while back there was talk within CIG about having the kind of trailer to pull behind the Ezra rover? It might have only been on Spectrum. I don't think there was anything that was confirmed about that sort of tow truck bits and bobs. The actual tow truck bits. The towy bobs. The stuff, the trailers. You know what I mean? I can't words. Do you do round tables anymore? If not, why? I was on... This weekend that just came, I was on the round table. I was on Berserker's, Paul Shelley's podcast, the Astropub podcast. I'll appear on other people's podcasts happily. I recently as well, I was on Twerks as well. And that's the call. Any Evocati board, CIG needs you. I'm probably the laziest Evocati tester. Like, I'm busy doing other stuff that I am allowed to report on. Yes, I understand that Evocati could give me a more insightful advantage and be better for the channel. And also represent well, I'm not going to cover the leaks. So, maybe no one else should. Fuck. Keep it that Star Citizen's content growth will be exponential or linear. I don't know yet. It makes sense for it to be much more exponential once they've got all the tools and procedural stuff generated, though, doesn't it? Will you be immortalized in the game as an NPC? I'd love to be scanned into the game for all my separate individual core features, like my beluga whale head, to be disseminated across lots of NPCs and lots of characters to look like me. Can you try and fix the light that comes from your head? Is that better? Move back a little bit so it doesn't shine directly into the camera. You wouldn't consider the Corsair a alternative to the Carrack? See, I would. Do you think the population ratio 9:1 will be enough to populate the whole universe and system? So the idea is that there's going to be a load of NPCs simulated in-game and use probability ratios to work out some of the stuff that and encounters that you might get when you're traveling and when you're at locations and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be 9:1. They can change those numbers to whatever the fuck they want. So I suspect they will balance it until it does feel like there's a correct amount of population for each of the individual areas that you're in. Do you think CIG has given up on the idea of allowing players to choose how much PvP they have in their game? I don't think there's going to be a PvP slider. I think it will literally be some areas will be more geared for PvP. Some will be more geared for PvE. And obviously there's going to be safe places that are UE patrolled and stuff like that. And there's going to be some systems which are much more Wild West. Go mad, murder each other if you want. How low does your voice go? That low. There, this is demo. I hope that was informative. Why is Turkey Rod having such a name crisis at the moment? I don't know. It's just a branding thing, isn't it? Salty Mike is his current name. What would your biggest surprise moment CIG could announce at CitizenCon that would make you totally ecstatic? Squadron 42, Episode 1 release date. Star Citizen Personality of the Year, BoredGamer. He is $1 million. Anything like that? I'm looking for an alternative to the Cutlass Black. Is there anything in game right now that comes close, or any ship that's planned to have that role? Please don't say Freelancer, that's ugly. Okay, so if you're avoiding the Freelancer, Constellation Taurus, a little bit more expensive. If you're looking for a ship of that size, and you could potentially even look at the Corsair. I mean, it's a bit bigger, admittedly, both of those. Those would be my suggestions. Depends on what you want to do. I mean, obviously the Freelancer is a good choice, as it is basically a competitor to the Freelancer. What about a Freelancer Blue? Any news on the banning ships or race? Nope. Nothing new. But now I have too many shadows. Look, what do you want from me? So we could have wider PTU for 3.6 any day now. I still think that they might get wider PTU in for the end of this month. Sorry, a PT for everyone by the end of this month. I mean, they could even get a live, but I think that's less likely. It's possible that 3.6 could be delayed. We'll have to wait and see. Brothers have blasphemed against the holy Freelancer. How do you select the prize for your ship giveaway, and when and where do you post the winner? So basically, I'll make it into layman's terms because I did not make the system that actually produces the winner. It randomly picks by number a video. It goes, so video number 13. It is mostly Excel based. And then that would be a particular video. And then from that video, it takes all of the comments. Any comment from the same person is truncated into a single comment. So if you made 20 comments on one video, it would just count as one comment from that video. And then it picks a winner, bam, and then I check to see if that person's subscribed. That is the very arse-about-face way I do the giveaways at the moment. Would you consider wearing a rug? No, I'm not going to wear a wig. Well, I've got wigs. They're for more comic purposes. For comic purposes, I will wear wigs or money. With a lot of FPS weapons coming in online, when do you think we'll get C4 trip mines? Yeah, so that's sort of gadgets to me. I don't know when. We're obviously getting weapon attachments soon, and there's going to be more grenades pretty soon as well. Any ideas for someone wanting to do Star Citizen MAs? How to get people to come and ask questions? you need either enough exposure or enough people to come and watch you in the first place to really do them. I would start by taking questions from beforehand. So ask questions, so I gather all the questions and sort of like go through them as topics and answer other people's questions as they come in. So just make sure you're talking constantly and answering questions, even if they were questions that weren't asked during the live chat. They were ones that you sourced before. See what I mean? That's how I'd start. I just want a BoredGamer default head for the character creator. So do I, Doka Alpha. I want that too. Wonder why CIG doesn't have landing zones on moons like in 2015, 2016. I think it's 2016. Yeah, that outpost was sort of like hand-built one, I think. That's why. Expect to see more and more points of interest in the future, but they want to build them all into the procedural system so they sort of like can be reused. Between the regular freelancer and the max, which has better firepower, I think you can outload both of them to be the same. So, think. You think we'll get multi-crew bounty hunter ship someday? Yeah, quite possibly. Technically, the Cutlass Blue might fill that role. Good evening, Sea Lance. I might have to dash. Oh, I am interviewing someone from Odyssey Interstellar who have donated a 890 jump to my channel for an organisation spotlight. Well, not for the organisation spotlight, but I'm interviewing for organisation spotlight. I'll give them some love. Check out Odyssey Interstellar. They're an org and star citizen. They got fucking ships. They do industrial stuff and economy things, and they play games now. And they keep on inviting me to come and play with them each week. And I've always been busy or ill or sleeping or away. And I'm a monster. So this weekend, I'm going to be playing some games with them. But in a minute, I'm going to be chatting to their leaders, or some of their leaders. But they are good chaps. I've been chatting to them in their voice chats and things on their Discord. So check them out if you're looking for an org. I will do a bit more detail on them very soon. My voice is going. I am going to go and host someone else. I'm going to dash off because I need to have a cup of tea or something. And then I want to interview these chaps. But I love you guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for the donations and the subs and the love. It's very, I know it's very makeshift, random, quickie stream today, but I was bored. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video today. Maybe I'll just try and get up the organisation spotlight if I can. That might be effective. What do we got? G online. G around. G if he's around. He's around. I'll give him some love. So we'll be playing. He's playing fucking Minecraft. Oh my god! What is this? 2015? 2010? Minecraft. 2011. Let's say 2011 for Minecraft. Fuck it. Give him some love. And what am I doing? Oh, that.